Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the interactive and informative session on emerging technologies and its future. I would like to welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Punit Agrawal, blockchain expert and founder of Zubi, for joining us. We're really glad to have you.
Hi
So,
Tanisha, hi
first, let me
members
give a
who are
short
joining us live.
Okay, so first, let me give a short introduction about our association, CACA. CSEA, or the Computer Science and Engineering Association, NIT Warangal, is the official branch association of our college, which started in 2002. We work continuously for the welfare of students of our college. The CSEA conducts every events around the year for the benefit of the students of not just CSE but other branches too. We conduct several events like Connect, where we gain from the experience of our alumni, straight out of CSED, where we bring out inspiring stories from our CSE department, hackathons, collaborations with several organizations to conduct workshops on web development, machine learning, etc. Coding contests, quizzes, among a lot of other events. Our team worked tirelessly to bring out the best content under the guidance of our faculty advisor, Professor S.G. Sanjeevani, and the hard work paid off as well, as we are the best association in NIT Warangal for the past 2 years. Among the several events to come this semester, this is the third instance of our new series, Talks with CSEA, where today we're going to talk about emerging technologies and their role in the future with our guest, Punit Agrawal. So, let's begin. So, basically, during graduation, your curiosity in blockchain made you dive deep into the field and you started exploiting its possibilities. So, how can one get started in research on blockchain?
Hi Tanisha. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi everyone who has joined us live. Good to see you all here. Tanisha, you asked me the question about how can one get started in terms of the research in the
Yes.
blockchain field, right?
Yes.
Fair enough. Blockchain is relevantly a very new technology and it has an immense potential of new things to be developed. There's a lot of areas that is under research, and if you want to get started with it, you just have to understand the fundamentals first, and then as you move ahead in your journey, you would get to know that there are so many flaws in the current
Yes.
system that you have, and that would encourage you to find solutions on how this particular solution or how this particular problem can be addressed. And once you try to find these solutions, that becomes part of your research. Some of the solutions are available. There are some through which you can relate to through the existing computer fundamentals knowledge that you have, to the knowledge of
Yeah.
computer networks, to the knowledge of computer security, cyber security, that you would implement in the blockchain world, and that entirely consists of the researched product that you would be seeing.
Yeah. Okay. So that was great. Um, Also, you've interned with CSIR and JITFIN in capacities of blockchain intern, coordinator and developer. And you're also a part of Blockchain Training Academy at University of California, Berkeley. In the correct time. Okay, I guess our speaker has lost connection. Um, can guys wait for a few minutes?
Sorry,
Yeah,
Tanisha, you lost you. Can you just repeat the question?
yeah, sure. Okay, so you're a part of Blockchain Training Academy at University of California, Berkeley. In the
Mhm.
current time, what are the job opportunities that exist for blockchain developers?
Sure. So,
Yeah.
I'd cover much more of its detail during the presentation, but in just a glimpse side, yes, there are a lot of opportunities in India and in globe. In India
Yeah.
specifically, the blockchain and the cryptocurrency field or the crypto companies are getting in highlighted. So recently, like 3 days back, one of the leading crypto exchange in India named CoinDCX, they
Okay.
raised a fund of 100 crores.
Oh,
So
okay.
this is the amount of interest that people are taking in, investors are taking in an Indian crypto
Yeah.
ecosystem, and that definitely. And if you just if we just read the blogs, and if we just read the perspective of CEOs of these companies, so they intend to use this money to hire fresh talent and to develop the blockchain ecosystem. So yes, the job opportunities are immense. In short, the exact details would be
Hmm.
covered during the slides.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. Uh, okay, so we're streaming live on YouTube too. So I'd like to welcome our audience from there too. And you guys can post your questions on Airmeet or YouTube as soon as we start the interactive session. So moving on, you're also founder of DAS Labs, and according to your LinkedIn profile, build you have built decentralized and distributed ledger system solutions. So can you illuminate our attendance on it, and also how does blockchain come into pictures into this?
Sure.
Yeah.
So Maz Labs was something that I founded when I was back a
Oh,
student
okay,
like you
that's nice.
all, that
Yeah.
BTech student. I was in my
Okay.
third year then. So since I was into this field for almost 3.5, 4 years now, and there were very less blockchain developers present in the country. So we
Yeah.
decided to take up some opportunities from the global companies. So we had worked with companies from Singapore, Vietnam, Indonesia, Middle East,
Right.
and in India as well, wherein we have helped companies to build their blockchain products. So DAS was like decentralized A to Z.
Oh,
So
okay.
they yeah, so there we like built-in solutions on blockchain for different companies. So solutions
Yeah.
like the networks, designing the entire network, or maybe designing the protocols,
Hmm.
working on the consensus mechanism, or in simple languages, working on applications like wallets, exchanges, etc.
Yeah.
So this entirely was linked to blockchain because the product that we were building on was being built on blockchain.
Oh, that's commendable. Yeah. Okay, so next point is that everyone seems to be impressed by the technologies like AI and blockchain nowadays. You have people talking about limitless potential to conspiracy theories. So, in regard to this too, what do you feel their role in future can be?
Yeah. So blockchain and AI. So what I believe is, like there's nothing called a standalone technology.
Okay,
So there is kind of a tri-star, which I'll call in the technology ecosystem, where
right.
the 3 points are blockchain, AI, and Internet of Things. So
Okay,
combined, these three would actually, make the future, would actually make a lot of um, like it would actually create an impact in the future by combining these three. So there are a lot of research areas in which blockchain and IoT has been combined with, and people are
yes,
working on that solutions. There
yes,
are solutions where IoT AI has been combined, and we have already seen a lot of advancements in it. And there are solutions
yes.
where blockchain and AI has combined. So
Oh,
this
okay,
trilogy, wherein IoT is basically the place through which you get in the data, and then
yes,
the different sensors that collect the data. AI is basically to process that data and to take the meaningful insights out of it. And blockchain is a place wherein you can store that particular data in a secured way. So this trilogy
right.
is something that would create an impact in the future. And I'll share some of the examples during my presentation.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. So next up is that you got selected in the student startup exposure program where you were part of a delegation heading to Silicon Valley. In Silicon Valley, you got to know about the ins and outs of startup ecosystem from experts in that field. So
Mhm.
here, a very general question comes to everyone's mind: how to initiate for a startup?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, SSEP or Student Startup Exposure Program was one of a
yeah.
life-changing opportunity through which
Oh,
I was sent to Silicon Valley for around 17 days on a
mm,
sponsored trip by government of Rajasthan.
yeah.
So, in that particular delegation, I was part of different trainings. You can call them trainings or sessions or mentorships
Okay. Yeah.
from multiple organizations like Google, Facebook,
Huh.
Intel, Apple, and like we were part of Stanford, we were part of UC Berkeley, and many
Yeah.
other things. Like we happened to meet Tim Draper, who is also one of the leading investors in Skype, one of the leading investors in Tesla. He
Yeah.
owns tons of bitcoins. So we happen to meet these kind of people and understand their perspective towards emerging technologies, their perspective towards different startup
Mm,
ecosystem, their perspective towards the future. And of course, when
yeah.
you're in Silicon Valley, every random person is talking about startups. So
Yeah.
yes, sure. I also see a question of Anmol. Like, can you share your experience of pitching up about your idea in Silicon Valley? Sure, Anmol. Basically, I
Okay.
happened to choose a idea on blockchain wherein I introduced the mechanism through which we can actually control or we can actually reduce the threats or not exactly threats, it's frauds in health insurance industry of India. So that is something that I pitched into the government of Rajasthan, and since they were working on a system of e-mitra, through which they started digitalizing the health records on the first part. The second part that comes in is to reduce the insurance frauds, and that is something. So, like I believe I was only one of the two blockchain projects that was pitched out of 20,000 people who had pitched in, and so that particular solution was accepted and selected by the government of Rajasthan, and then they happened to send in across to the valley. And there we also learned about different mechanisms about how to pitch a particular idea, how to make the pitch deck, and etc. It was entirely about the startup ecosystem that one faces in the real life.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that was great. So, currently you're a founder of Zubi, starting with an ambition to enable students to learn from what they learn. Zubi has been awarded the Student-led Tech Startup of the Year by Software Technology Parks of India and Government of Odisha. And this company is currently serving 26K registered users. So, firstly, I'd like to congratulate you for this achievement.
Thank you, Zanisham.
Yeah. So, what inspired you to start Jubi?
What inspired me to start Zubi? Okay.
Yeah.
So when I started Zubi, I was again back a student. So I just graduated this
Okay.
year. I'm 2020 graduate, and
Oh, that's nice.
when I came back, so it comes with a quite of a journey or a
Yeah.
background. So I'll just take in 2 to 3 minutes here to explain the journey of what made me start Zubi. So when I
Yeah.
just came
Sure.
back from Silicon Valley in like September 2018, so there were a lot
Hmm.
of people in India who wanted to work something around blockchain, but did not have an exposure. So
Hmm.
basically, I'm mentioning about the student audiences, and
Yeah.
that's when we decided, to create a community for students, specifically in blockchain, because back then we have seen Facebook developer circles, Google developer
Yes.
circles, or GDG groups, and then there were
Yeah.
IEEE and etc. chapters in colleges, but there was
Yeah.
nothing for blockchain specifically, and that made us
Yes.
start blockchain at India, which was a community focused to share the blockchain knowledge with students, and that is
Yes.
something that took off like very rapidly, because within 3 to 4 months we had 5,000 users who registered on the
Oh.
platform and who wanted to learn more about blockchain, who wanted to take in insights, and who wanted to take in the
Yeah.
resources
That
to.
is great. Yeah.
Yeah, so that actually, was the founding stone of Zubi, and
Oh,
Blockchain at India was something that we started up with, and then we soon realized that the gap is not just lack of awareness or education, but people
yeah,
as students, in order to get motivated to learn these technologies, they need to find in opportunities in the same. We do see every
yeah.
random person currently learning machine learning in their college time because they do find in opportunities. There are companies who come in college to hire.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that is something that led us to bring in more of a value to student through which they can actually find in an entire ecosystem rather than just learning. So Zubi at Ruby, like we were in a mission to help people actually learn and then earn and then invest. So this is something
Oh,
that we are making at Zubi. So first you learn and then in order to earn you
yeah.
need opportunities. Opportunities can be like internships, job
Yeah, true.
opportunities, part-time projects, anything.
Hmm.
And then once you earn, then you invest in crypto or any other platform in order to increase your investments. This is something that was nutshell vision of Zubi.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's great. That's commendable. Now, moving on, your startup Juvie, it provides a platform for students to learn all kind of technologies. What kind of technologies and frameworks do you have? Do you see being at forefront in the future? And also, how can students go about learning them?
The type of technology, so technology is something that keeps on advancing and changing like every now
Yeah,
and then. So there is nothing as in one particular technology that will be for like more than 4 decades, 5 decades, etc. Hence the emerging
yeah,
technologies, because the technologies as and when they are emerging, we need to be updated enough to use them. Otherwise, we would be outdated.
yeah,
And regarding the question, I'll be adding in more lines on it during the presentation, and I'll be sharing in examples of what happens when we don't update ourselves.
yeah. Okay, that is fine. Okay. So let's move ahead.
I think.
So student,
Can I just stop there?
yeah, sure.
I see a question by Mohit Talreja. Not many students in their
Okay.
undergraduate years focus on startups, rather focus on placements
Hmm.
and uh, thinking of starting something up later than as they gain experience in their fields. What gave you an indication that you
Hmm.
have what it takes to start Zubi? Okay. So Mohit, like I started, my startup journey from like I was into this from my first year itself. So from first year, I started pitching various random ideas, like that doesn't even take into consideration of blockchain or any technology. So it was just any random idea which I started pitching at multiple events, and that made me understand about how this particular world works and what are the things that are required, what are the skills that are needed, etc. And then specifically, my experience in blockchain and the trip to Silicon Valley was something that boosted my confidence like anything. And then that particular trip was the life changing experience for me. That was when I realized that I do have an experience of blockchain since I had founded DAS Labs through which I had worked on multiple projects. And then after gaining an experience of pitching a particular idea to multiple people and having an exposure to be live present at Google headquarters, Stanford, UC Berkeley, etc.,
Yeah,
that actually helped increase in my knowledge, and that was something that made me believe that I'll be doing that. I'll be doing something for, or I'll be giving back something to the community in that sense. And as soon as I came in back to India, and just as I shared, and there were a lot of people who, asked about their experience or asked about my experience and asked and inquired about like how they can learn into this technology. So that made me start think upon like there's actually something which is missing in the
yeah.
country, and we instead of just using different technologies, why don't we invent new technologies? So
True,
that
true.
particular motivation made me to do something for students so they can start inventing at the early age.
Yeah, yeah.
So this
That.
is something that followed up.
Oh, wow, that is nice. Okay. So we have a last question from our team part.
Sure.
That is, the students these days have way too many options as far as learning something new is concerned. Naturally, confusion grips them. What do you suggest to the students who are interested to try out a lot of stuff but lack of time or resources? How can they choose uh, how to go ahead? In which field can they
Okay.
go ahead? Yeah.
Hmm, 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 hmm. So basically, it's according to me, I may be wrong, but it's like the personal opinion here. So according to
Okay.
me, it's a hit and trial method.
Yeah.
So nothing like you don't have any time. So if you like something, so you do have time to eat, right? You do have time to gossip with your friends. You do have time to play your favorite game at least an hour a day. So you
Yes.
to
Yes.
find time to do something that interests you and try to do it. Like
Yes.
even if you may be liking that, or you may not be liking that. So if you like it, you
Yeah.
can do that. That is
Right.
something of your interest. If you don't like it, then just like ignore that up and try something new. So what I think it's a hit and trial method. Sharing in my
Right.
experience, I started something around AI, right? Like I just happened to think upon like what particular AI is back in 2017, and
Okay.
I wanted to understand about this particular technology. I was working on this technology for some time as well. I also happened to intern at National Learning University in Taiwan. So I was there for almost a month. And then
Oh, nice.
there I happened to also work on computer graphics. I also happened to work on MIT Scratch language. So wherein I also happened to work on game development. I also happened to
Mm.
work on AI.
Yeah.
So there was like multiple mixture options, and eventually I decided that AI is something that is not for me. And when I came back, I started
Oh, yeah.
thinking on
Okay.
blockchain, and I soon gained an interest in it. And till today, I am quite of much involved in blockchain.
Oh,
So according to me, it's just a hit and trial method.
oh, yeah. Yeah. That gives much of clarification. We have a question from Aman Kashyap, student of NIT Kurukshetra. How did you manage to file all compliances of a private limited co while managing the college work?
So Aman, like my particular college was very supportive on this. So they gained an like they gained in a confidence on me after the Silicon Valley trip, and they decided to incubate me as a startup in the college.
Mm.
And since it was a program by government of Rajasthan, so the government of Rajasthan was also supportive, and they decided to help all the startups who want to continue their particular startup ideas to give
Yeah.
an incubation in Bhamasha Techno Hub, which is the largest technical supporter or the accelerator program in the country. So that is
Mm.
something that I started my journey with. I learned different methods through there, and then I happened to consult different CAs, lawyers, etc. And now, like all of the things are being done independently. There are some areas which I have an understanding in. There are some areas which my partners have an understanding in. So it doesn't matter much. So you just need one particular person who guides you rightly, and you don't have to take in much of these headaches. You just have to
Yeah.
focus on your product or something that you are good at. Rest all can be managed.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That was great. Okay, so that is the end of questions from our part. You can go ahead with your presentation if you want. I
Yep, sure.
just,
So I'll just take in few minutes, and
yeah, sure.
so it's not kind of a boring presentation, in my opinion, wherein I'll not be
Mm,
explaining audience about what blockchain is, how it works,
yeah,
what are the consensus mechanisms, proof of work, etc. The
yeah,
different technicalities. There's like an entire platform called YouTube, wherein you can just simply type and explain
mm,
blockchain like I'm a 5 year old, and they'll explain you the entire technology, and then eventually you can take a level up. So today is like I just want to share in thoughts about emerging technologies, and
oh, okay.
there's some I want uh, to for the audience to think on something. So let's just
Yeah,
start with it.
yeah,
And
sure. Let's start. Yeah,
I'll just share in my screen.
Yeah.
Is the screen visible?
Not yet. Okay, it's loading. Yeah, it's visible now.
Great. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah. So as we see, the topic is like emerging technologies and their role in future. So I'd like to ask everyone a question here. You can just think upon this. The world is emerging. Are you?
Hmm.
So let's just start. So hi,
Okay.
I'm Punit Agarwal. I'm founder at Zubi, and by now you might have known a lot about me since we had the questionnaire round first. So
Hmm.
I'll just skip this up. So, do we know all of these three faces? Have you seen them before? I'll be seeing your answers parallelly in the chat section, so you can start posting your answers there. Let's make it an interactive session. If you want to, just
Yeah.
raise hand and talk, you can do that.
Yeah, I request audience to post the questions and the answers too.
So, do you know these faces? Like, have you ever seen them before? Fang CEOs, Sai Jagdish says Fang, okay. All use their failure steps. I just want to know their names. Like, have you seen them before? Who is the first one, the second, and the third one? Okay, Sai Jagdish says first one is Jobs, okay. Second, Bill Gates, nice. Mohit says it's Bill Gates. Others, like, I would want to see others. Great. Ashvi, the name says third is Jeff Bezos. Perfect, yeah. So, what's common between them? Now let's come to this question. What is common between them? Okay, Diva says all of them are CEOs, while Bill Gates is not a CEO of Microsoft. What is something that is common between all of them? Think upon it. Like, let's not make it a boring presentation. I want, like, there are around 40 members, so 35 of them might be participants. All started their companies in a garage. Okay,
Yeah, we have a
they started from zero. Millionaires, yeah.
yeah.
To the point, Bash Karja, if I pronounce it right, to the point, millionaires. Success
Jobs.
people who build something great. Yeah. So famous, of course. So
Yeah.
yeah. So let's move ahead. They actually changed in the world. If you see Steve Jobs, if you see Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, they actually changed the way people used to live back in 90s, right? Now consider your lives without platforms like these, without visionaries like these. They changed the world. How can you? Now let's come into next question. What is common between these three companies? So all of them come with their names: Kodak, Blockbuster, BlackBerry.
Yeah.
So what's common between these three companies? Like, have you heard them before? What is Kodak famous for? Cameras, correct.
Camera.
What is Blockbuster famous for? Anyone heard of Blockbuster? Like, it's a very common word in Bollywood. Renting movies, correct. What is BlackBerry famous for? Mobiles. Yeah, it's mobiles basically. Clothes
Mobile.
one is the different. It's the BlackBerry clothes version, but we currently are talking about the mobiles one. QWERTY keypad,
Yeah.
exactly, yes, as we didn't. So these three companies, like, there's something very common with them, which I believe someone has answered in as well. It's Anmol Sahu. All three companies did not change with time. All
Yeah.
three companies failed to adapt to new
New
technology
technology.
challenges. So, yes, they did not innovate. Will you? So,
Yeah.
since most of our audience is students, you might have
Yes.
seen like DC and Marvel movies, right?
Yeah.
You might be knowing this particular picture then.
Change in it.
What is this hand of? Like which particular superhero or super villain does comes in your mind? Thanos, right?
Thanos. Yeah.
So what
I
are
know.
what are the different stones? Infinity Gauntlet, yes. So change and innovation are exactly like this Thanos, it's Thanos hand or maybe Infinity Gauntlet. So,
Yeah.
and then there are different stones on it. There are different colors which comes in with different powers, in the superhero world or in the Marvel world.
Yes.
So, in my opinion, this particular stones are different technologies, right? And this
Oh,
particular hand is change and innovation. So there's
yeah.
one particular stone for AI, blockchain, Internet of Things, virtual reality, 5G, and fintech.
Fintech. Yeah.
Are the technologies which are currently emerging in, and there is immense potential in it, right? So this is particularly, the combination of change and innovation, and these are the six stones that you can call in that are present dated popular emerging technologies. So all of this, looks good when we talk about fictional things. Let's get into some of the reality, right? So
Yeah.
let's talk about ground reality now.
Yeah.
The
Right.
ground reality is 820 million people suffer from hunger worldwide.
Oh.
The
Okay.
ground reality is 50% unbanked adults exist in seven economies of the globe.
Yeah.
The ground reality is one in four drugs are counterfeit in India. Like one in
Yeah.
every four medicines that you have been taking in your lifetime. So they are counterfeit. The regular medicines like maybe paracetamol, crocin, any medicine that you think of, 25% of them are counterfeit.
Mhm.
The ground reality is one in 15 people suffer from identity fraud each year. We have
Yes.
seen hacks at the hotels. Like, for example, whenever you visit in or whenever you check in at any hotel, what is something
Yeah.
that they ask you for? It's a question. What is something that they ask you for whenever you check in into a hotel? Identity. Right.
Identity card. Yeah.
Right. So, who do you think is the biggest hotel chain in the world?
Hello.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you repeat?
sure. So, who do you think is one of the biggest hotel chains in the world? Like one of the very popular hotel chains in this globe, Marriott. Divas says it's
Right.
Marriott. And yes, Divas, you're right. Marriott is one of the leading hotel chains across the globe. And in 2017, 2018, we had
Mm.
seen a hack wherein, the Marriott servers were compromised and 100 million identity of guests were revealed or were leaked on dark web.
Oh.
And
Okay.
Marriott it's a premium class hotel. So basically
Okay.
people visiting that particular hotels come in with some identity, right? Their identity is something that matters. They
Oh.
might be
Okay.
possibly be industrialists, they might be politicians, they might be celebrities,
Mm.
and they might be
Right.
recognized people across the globe.
Right.
So even the best hotel chains in the globe, Marriott's servers are not, like secure. We have seen
Mm.
places, so every person now and then talks about Aadhaar card. We have
Yeah.
seen the UIDAI servers getting compromised, and Aadhaar cards of person are being sold at $100 on dark web. And
Yeah.
you might have a question, why Aadhaar cards paying 7,000, 8,000 rupees? What does they come in with? So With your Aadhaar card, I can buy a property. With your Aadhaar card, I can open a bank account. With your Aadhaar card, I can buy a SIM card. With your
Yes.
Aadhaar card, I can like possibly do anything that is possible.
Yes.
This is power of one identity, which was the vision of Aadhaar, and then there are some loopholes through which these identity are getting compromised.
Yes.
One 15 people, right? Like
Yeah.
basically
Right.
40 people coming in on this particular presentation. So
Yeah.
out of us have our identity compromised. Isn't that a big number?
Yeah. It is.
Ground reality is 1.8 million jobs will be lost to AI in next year.
Yeah. A lot of competition.
1.8 million jobs.
Jobs. That's a huge number.
The ground reality is India's unemployment rate in 2020 percent. So,
Yes.
while seeing these ground realities, the questions worth asking is how will emerging technologies work? How do we access it? How will it transform industries? What are the new spaces that will be created by emerging technologies? What is the impact that it will create? These
Yeah.
questions are something that are worth asking, and
Yes.
this is something that you must ponder upon before
Yeah.
like you step your journey into these emerging technologies. Not so hypothetical 20 scenario, like your Alexa talking to you about good morning, here's a schedule for the day, which is fairly achieved currently. We do see this particular thing being happening, but 2030 it would be common in all the households. Your fridge talking to you and saying that you have your eggs which are going to finish. Do you want to reorder them? You have your milk that is being finished, or there might be smart fridges that would be preparing breakfasts for you, and then your driverless cab would be there to pick you up, and then he would be talking, or the cab would be talking to you about hi Puneet, we have come to pick you up. Your estimate time of arrival is 25 minutes from now, and you'll be reaching your destination at 6:05 p.m.
Yes.
And then you'll be having your personal AI assistant or your AI secretary who would be dealing about your and your day schedule across the day. So, and the possibilities are limitless. Like there are so many possible things that we cannot even imagine, but would be present in the near future.
Yeah.
So let's talk about two of these major technologies, AI and blockchain.
Puneet, we have a question from Savyachi. Why AI stops should would be lost?
Where AI jobs would be lost.
Why AI? Yeah.
So, okay, like the question is why AI would, remove jobs from people, etc.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's not clear, but I guess
Sure, no,
that is the
no.
question. Yeah.
Okay, Sabri, so do you use Swiggy or Zomato to order your food, or do you use any of the banking applications to do transactions and to basically call them up and talk to customer care? Just a quick yes or no would help.
Mm, yes.
Great. Okay. So
Obviously, yes.
fair enough. So, why do you think, so while using Zomato or any other application, previously, if you had any query, there used to be a center executive who used to come and answer your queries. These days, do you see them? Or is it most of the time resolved by an AI bot? If you use Uber and if you, post any request for any problem that you faced in your ride, your Uber assistant resolve it automatically. and this led
Yes.
to dropping the number of headcounts at Swiggy, Uber, or any other company, where they have moved 60 to 70% of their workforce who are doing in repetitive tasks, who are doing in tasks like customer care executive, etc. We have seen in examples
Yes.
wherein, like Dubai, this is particularly being present now, wherein your pizzas are not being delivered anymore by a pizza delivery guy. Your pizzas come to your home drone. We have seen examples like Tesla,
Yes.
and with the adoption of Tesla in the globe, you would see there's no need of drivers anymore. Cars are being driving
Yeah.
automatically and taking your destination, wherein you can just sit at the back of seat, either working on your laptop, talking to someone over phone, or maybe taking up a sip of coffee. Your
Yeah.
car automatically drives for you. And these are the examples. Don't you think, like, drivers, pizza delivery boys, customer care executives have already lost their jobs?
Yes.
So
Yes,
this
that's
is
true.
something that so this is something how AI will eat your jobs, but basically the jobs of people who are outdated. So I don't say that AI will eat up all of the jobs. There is, to make machines, there has to be humans, there has to be a human touch, and then there can be an argument over this. Like machine can also make in machines. We have seen that in Silicon Valley episodes, etc. But yes, that
Yeah.
would take it. Currently, I do feel that humans would be required to make these technologies and to make specific systems, and this is where humans' role would actually be, and AI will definitely eat up jobs. So yeah, there
Yeah.
are two options. Either you get feared like AI will eat up my job, and then get into an entire contrast side of AI that नहीं यार AI नहीं आना चाहिए, something that will eat up my job, or something on the other side, or the second option, that you tie up your hands with AI and then you go along with it, and then develop something that would be um, much more sophisticated, and that would add your contribution to society.
Yes.
So let's come back and discuss about the
Yeah.
industry size of
Industry
AI,
science.
wherein we do see, or we do expect of the industry size of AI to be $76.6 billion by 2022. So this data is quite like outdated. I believe this is from fact of pre-COVID time, but with this
Okay.
COVID, the industry size would be much, much, much more than this. Wherein the
Okay.
goal of the features of AI is to maximize efficiency, is to make something available 24/7, is to handle repetitive jobs like something which I was talking about, and reduce the probability of making errors.
Yeah.
Does AI eat up jobs? Yes. But does it create jobs? Yes. 56 million new jobs would be created in AI field just by 2022.
2022.
56 million jobs. That comes
Huge
to
number.
6 crore
Yeah.
jobs across the globe. And
Yes.
one of the top AI job profiles in India, it's machine learning engineer, data scientist, business intelligence developer, research scientist, big data scientist, or engineer, architect. Any of these
Yes.
go. So these are something that are like that. These particular roles are on a rise, and the opportunities on these areas would be flourishing as in how we move ahead. Do you want to learn machine learning? If yes, I believe most of the answers would be yes. So these are,
Yes.
you probably can take in a screenshot of this. So these are something that you can, uh, that you need to learn in for your learning journey in machine learning. It has to be Python or R anyone. Data science tools and machine learning concepts. The theories and the practice of data analysis, manipulation, and visualization, pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib. you also need to have some hands-on with machine learning and machine learning with scikit-learn. And then deep learning and networks is something that, you know, that is something that you need to take care of. So
Mm,
we just taking a screenshot of this, and let's
yeah.
understand what is the real world impact of machine learning and AI in the real world. So we have seen chatbots, Zomato, autonomous vehicles, Tesla, Uber has also, achieved much or achieved or have made much sophisticated um, driverless cars. Then there are virtual assistants like Amazon Alexa, Siri, Assistant, Cortana, etc. Customer care
Yeah.
executive or assistants at Geo. When you call Geo, basically you won't find any person answering your call. It's
Yeah.
entirely customer care assistant that takes in your call, Geo. And then there are
Yes.
other fields like facial scanning. Delhi Airport is, on a plan or has probably done a pilot program through which your boarding passes would be printed through your face. You don't need to line up in any more queues. You don't need to show in your ID card and then taking boarding pass. Just scan your face. That is your identity. Your face is your identity.
Yes.
Then surveillance, job hiring, healthcare, finance, and any other field you can think about, AI is making an impact there. So these
Yes.
are the real world impacts or real world implementation of AI that we see. And like coming into the next technology of blockchain, industry size, uh, it was $1.2 billion in 20, and it's expected to rise to $23.3 billion by 2023, almost 20 times
Yes.
5 years. The major features of blockchain is to control fraud, is to ensure security, to maintain transparency, to get away with the hidden fees, and to reduce hacking threat, or basically to make your servers and your data much more secure. Blockchain
Yes.
experts will be in high demand. So at the start of the present this particular session, Tanisha, you asked me about the jobs in blockchain.
Yeah.
So my some of the research by Gartner and other publications indicate that 30,000 jobs would be created just in blockchain field in India. Just in India.
Wow.
Currently, there are only 6,500 qualified blockchain developers in the country. Right?
Oh,
Let me just
yeah.
share a very relevant example. How many of
Okay.
you have heard of a company called Accenture?
I've not.
Okay, others? Any? Does it ring any bell for the name Accenture? I'm seeing your answers on chat. It's been
Yes.
7 minutes since anyone has commented. Yes, Anmol. Yep. So a lot of people have heard about it, right? So it's
Yeah.
basically a company that hires in, freshers in bulk, and it's a company or a consultancy firm which you can call in, right? And it's very
Okay.
popular. So it's like it's among top five companies, that top five companies or maybe in the list of top 10 companies in India.
Oh.
So, Accenture, when it comes to hire in from any of the engineering colleges for any particular role, they do offer in like a package of 4 point somewhere between, like I'm not updated with the latest figures, but it used to be somewhere between, let's say, 3 LPA, right? And then
Yes.
for any particular job opening that Accenture has in, they they get in like 20,000, 30,000 applicants per day.
Mm.
Okay. In 2018, Accenture opened up an opportunity for blockchain developers in the country. They were hiring for 200 positions. And this particular job opening was open for 6 weeks.
Oh.
At
Okay.
the end of 6 weeks, how many applicants do you think have totally filed for it? Wherein 200 positions were open. In the other fields, per day they used to receive in 20,000 applicants. How many
Oh.
has Accenture would have received in the span of 6 weeks, wherein they were hiring 200 blockchain developers.
Yeah, it's around 200. It will be around 200 or 250, 100 to 200.
Jagdish says 100, 200, okay.
Yeah.
Others, the number is very shocking. Like it can be a huge number or a fairly low number.
Yeah. Abhishek says less than 200.
That's a very secured. Less
Yes.
than 100 is also a secured answer. Anyways, so without wasting in much time, the total number of applications were three. A
Oh.
single digit number three.
Oh. Okay.
The top blockchain job profiles in India are blockchain developer, Ethereum developer, blockchain engineer or hyperledger and Solidity developer. So once you put yourself into googling and researching about blockchain, these words you'd be familiar with them like within your first week of research. So now
Yeah.
you'll be bouncing off, but then like they are very common words.
Mm.
So मुद्दे की बात पर आते हैं और something that matters to you. How to become an Ethereum developer or a blockchain developer?
Yeah.
You have two choices. Either you can go ahead with JavaScript as a language, or you can choose Python, anything that you're familiar with. If you're
Yes.
using JavaScript, then you would be choosing in Solidity to write your smart contracts. And if you're
Yeah.
choosing Python, Viper is something that you would be going ahead with. Right? And then you need to learn about Ethereum concepts and consensus mechanisms. You also need
Yeah.
to either learn web3.js, which is a JavaScript library of Web3, or a Python library, which is web3.py. And then
Okay.
you have to learn about, or you have to just, get in hands-on on Truffle, Ganache, etc. And IPFS as a platform would help you a lot if you wish to store in data on blockchain. So
Mm.
we'll just take in a quick screenshot. I would not wasting much time.
Yeah.
If you have
Yeah.
questions regarding this, feel free to connect with me over my LinkedIn and then we can discuss in there. Let's get around the blockchain implementation world. So I'm sure most of you have heard of this particular company called Walmart. What are they
Yes.
famous? Fast, like I've already crossed my time limit, so it's 27 minutes since I'm speaking in. So Walmart supermarket, yes, great. So what's the speciality mixed about them?
Mm.
Okay, so Walmart basically, it's a giant or it's a chain of supermarkets in the United States, and their specialty is like they give you a product which has been brought in from very selected farmers, have been grown in at very ideal conditions, etc. And then like, there was one particular situation. So Walmart actually did a blockchain POC with IBM, and they were working on food supply chain. So they were working on ensuring the process of how their particular food reaches their Walmart stores and eventually goes in the
Okay.
basket of customers.
Oh,
So
okay.
on a particular fine day,
Mm.
a particular lot of mangoes was rotten, right? So
Yeah.
since they had in blockchain, they were able to find, this exact the source through which it was rotten in 2.2
Oh.
seconds. But
Oh.
ideally,
Okay.
how much time do you think would they have taken in a non-blockchain world? How much time do you think Walmart have been taken, in the ideal world where there's no blockchain, which was being implemented and, the time before blockchain? Days. Someone said days.
10 days.
Maybe more than a month. Okay. Around the
Maybe more than few months.
you're very close,
Yeah.
Mujtaba. 6 days, 18 hours, 6 minutes was the time without
Oh.
blockchain. I
Oh.
repeat, 6 days, 18 hours, 26 minutes.
Wow.
And with blockchain, it's 2.2 seconds. Ohio,
Wow.
a state in United States, has allowed people to pay their taxes or has allowed organizations to pay their taxes in cryptocurrencies. Switzerland are creating blockchain nations. Forget about them. Telangana, India, has
Yeah.
decided to create a blockchain district. And
Oh,
then we have
okay.
implementations of blockchain in cross transactions. So, what is the implementation of blockchain in India? IRDBT, the technical arm of Reserve Bank of India, it led to POCs, which is proof of concepts, by involving banks and technology firms like IBM and Infosys.
Okay.
So, this is a government organization. Mind my word, government organization. General
Yeah.
insurance companies they actually did a pilot program to track health insurance policies using blockchain. General
Okay.
insurance companies is again a group of a government organization who controls like the public and private insurances companies in India. Andhra Pradesh government introduced blockchain in land records. Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Rajasthan, many more other states are following the lead of keeping the land records on blockchain. I don't have
Mm.
any time, otherwise each of these have like are themselves a unique case study and I can talk about them for like an hour or so about each one of them, the problems that they have and
Mm.
what are the
Yeah.
governments have brought in sorry. Real world impact currencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, you might have heard of them, supply chain, Walmart, Mayor, Identity, IBM, KYC wallet, certificate, and Zubi. So we do issuing certificates on blockchain through which you cannot just pamper your certificate. Someone who understands Photoshop cannot just make a copy
Yeah.
of your certificate and present that anywhere across the globe. It's a
Yes.
certificate which can be validated, verified, and then
Yeah.
in
Right.
healthcare there are many use cases in healthcare. I'll just cut that short. So in companies, I'm sure most of you might be familiar with most of these logos. So these are some of the companies involved in blockchain projects. So when you just see here on this particular screen, 80% of them are government companies, and intentionally
Yes.
I've put my presentation in a way wherein I try to include in much more use cases done by the government just
Mm.
to remove that particular notion of people who think in that blockchain to your India mein banned hai. Right? There are a lot of people
Yeah.
who think in blockchain India में banned है या
Yeah.
नहीं करती है. I don't want to build on blockchain in India. These these are the examples of government using in blockchain. If I just haven't time, probably I'll show you a 60-second video of Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his thoughts on just
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
I'm just trying out.
Okay. Okay.
Here it is. I'll just stop the sharing and share the screen again.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, can you see the screen?
Not yet. Yeah. It's loading. Yeah.
Great, okay.
किसी छात्र से कृषि वैज्ञानिक बनते हुए वैल्यू एडिशन करते हुए आप अपने स्तर पर कृषि क्रांति का नेतृत्व कर सकते हैं। जैसे एक महत्वपूर्ण विषय है एग्रीकल्चर में आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, ये आने वाले समय में खेती के क्षेत्र में क्रांतिकारी परिवर्तन लाने वाला है। देश के कुछ हिस्सों में सीमित स्तर पर किसान इसका इस्तेमाल कर भी रहे, जैसे बुआई और पेस्ट कंट्रोल के लिए ड्रोन जैसी तकनीक का इस्तेमाल आज अब धीरे धीरे शुरू हुआ है। इसके अलावा सॉइल मैपिंग और कम्युनिटी प्राइसिंग में भी टेक्नोलॉजी काम कर रही है। इसके अलावा आने वाले दिनों में ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी का भी बड़ा अहम रोल रहेगा। इस तकनीक से सप्लाई चेन की रियल टाइम मॉनिटरिंग हो पाएगी। इससे में खेती में होने वाले लेन देन में पारदर्शिता आएगी। सबसे बड़ी बात, बिचौलियों की बदमाशी पर भी लगाम लगेगी और उपज की बर्बादी भी लगाम लगेगी।
So,
Yeah.
these are the thoughts from a person who is driving the country, who is driving the nation.
Yeah.
If you have any thoughts like blockchain इंडिया में बैंड है, so ऐसा नहीं है, ना ही
Mm.
cryptocurrency बैंड है. Like this is something that I would give the credit of this to the Indian media. I would give
Yeah.
this to different newspapers who have, uh, you know, um, who have made this particular fear in the mind of Indians. Like
Yeah.
blockchain is being banned. There is nothing as it. RBI
Mm.
has actually banned in cryptocurrency withdrawals in your bank account, but they were like slapped, like literally slapped by Supreme Court when they said it. Like Supreme Court statement was this was unconstitutional. RBI banning in cryptocurrency trading in Indian
Mm.
accounts or Indian bank accounts is unconstitutional. It's it doesn't fulfills the guidelines mentioned in Indian Constitution. This is something that was commented by the Supreme Court of India
Oh,
towards the decision of RBI banning the cryptocurrencies.
that's nice. Um.
Yep. So just
Okay.
last few slides. Sorry, Kanisha, I'll
Yeah.
just take
Sure.
a few more minutes because this is something that will help in students about their journey.
Yeah. Please continue.
Yep. So the last but not the least point, how can I build the apps? Puneet, what is the apps? We have heard of apps, but what is the apps? The apps or the apps in blockchain world, we blockchain people, are fancy, so we don't want the existing names to be taken up. We want
Okay.
to put in some new names. So we have
Yeah.
introduced this particular term called DApps, which is nothing but decentralized applications. The general applications that you see, so when the web world came in, they came and gave us a word called web app.
Oh.
When the
Okay.
mobile world came in, they came in and gave us a word called mobile app. So when
Yeah.
blockchain came in, we came in and gave a word of called DApp, called decentralized app. So
Oh.
it's a general application that runs on blockchain.
Okay.
And then some of the common platforms are Ethereum, Hyperledger, Quorum, R3, etc. So emerging technologies in India. What is the scenario? Is there a potential? Yes.
Mm.
Is there an awareness? No.
No. Mm.
So
True.
through this particular session, I wanted to give in my 2 cents and help you become aware of these emerging technologies that we see in the current world, right? That we are seeing in India, the
Yeah.
implementations that we see in, and you guys, since you are the builders of tomorrow, since you
Yeah.
are inventing in products of tomorrow, you can use these slides as a reference to start your journey in these emerging technologies. So what can you do? What can you,
Mm.
as someone who will be driving the nation tomorrow, what can you do? Upgrade, upskill, and uprise. That marks my end of words. Thank you for bringing in, for inviting me. Thank you CSEA and IT Warangal to bring in or to invite me here and to give me an opportunity to share my thoughts with the audience here.
Uh, Thank you. Thank you, Punit. That was really great. I guess we have few questions from our audience. So let's move on to the interactive session, a short one. Uh,
Sure.
yeah. So the audience from Airmeet and YouTube Live can post their questions. Um, we already have, yeah. So Divas Jindal ask, people are accumulating cryptos instead of spending it, which was the main motive of project. So what are your views on this?
It's a fair question, Devas. So it needs time. So any technology that comes in, so blockchain is like 11 years old. It has not even completed its teenage. So अभी 11 साल का ये यार जब लोग जानेंगे और एंड समझेंगे तब उसकी असली चीजों को उसके असली मोटिव को समझेंगे बट यस पीपल आर इवॉल्विंग so definitely people are seeing blockchain or crypto as an opportunity to gain short term money but eventually as in how we see in adoption people would start believing in and people would be starting using this particular technology in their day to day activities and to find utilities with it. And yes, we are in the direction of it in Bangalore. So I taken an example of Bangalore because it might be close to where your college is.
Yeah.
So at Bangalore, you can buy in you can buy in beers by spending in cryptos.
Oh, okay.
So in India, you can find and not only just beers, you can also find you can also buy chocolates, etc. at particular stores
Yes.
in Bangalore by just spending in cryptos. So utility are hai, and like, but yes, it would take time, and it we would need awareness sessions. पहले
Yeah.
तो मन तो ये हटाना है कि क्रिप्टो बैंड है उसके बाद सोचेंगे कि उसको स्पेंड करना है या यूज करना है या उसको
Yeah, why? Yeah,
utility
true.
देखनी है उसको
Yeah. So I guess this doubt is clear. We have a question from YouTube comment section that can blockchain technology help to create a uniform stock brokerage firm where people can invest without forex intervening in money transactions and cash flow?
Yes, so basically, there's nothing linked with Forex. Sorry, can you just repeat in the question? I just want to make sure that I heard it right.
Yeah,
Or maybe
sure.
you can copy paste that in the in the question section.
Yeah, wait, I'll do that. Yeah.
Sure, thanks. Can blockchain
Yeah.
technology help to create a uniform stock brokerage firm where people can invest without Forex intervening? Absolutely. Yeah. So whosoever has asked this question, it's a very good question. So yes,
Yeah.
blockchain can actually do that, and there is this is something that is not only just seen in theory but in practical. So you can just go and search about this term called decentralized exchange. So decks are already a lot in popularity. A few days back, we have seen in one of this particular decks called Uniswap, which was
Okay.
much, much, much in that was basically talk of the town. And
Yeah.
yes, it has already we already are there in a system wherein there's no central party controlling an entire exchange or the trade of money. We
Yeah.
probably have covered the journey from 0 to 1, and from 1 to 100 it would be very easy now. So yes, it would be possible. So the YouTube question asker, yes, it would be.
Oh, yeah, that's great. I guess he, he's got the clarification. So we have another question from Divas. Uh, Private blockchain are usually taken as deteriorating the principles of blockchain. What makes private blockchains differ than conventional DBs, according to you?
Fair question and a good question, Divas. So private blockchain is something that was not the concept of blockchain. So, like, if I just give an analogy of it,
Yeah.
okay, it's like every family, creating their own kind of a currency and then keeping it only to their family. So
Yeah.
it's that particular currency can be used in a family only. You cannot use that anywhere outside. And I'm not able to find better examples, but yes, private blockchain was not the vision of blockchain. Public blockchain was something which was there. But then companies realized or companies had a fear that their data, if 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 their data was somehow being backtraced, their data would be on a leak. So theoretically, it's possible. Practically, it's not due to some encryption algorithms that are used in blockchain, which we can probably
Mm.
discuss that in when we dive deeper into the terms of blockchain.
Yeah.
Theoretically, it is possible. So, in order to prevent that, companies decided to create in private blockchains, which was just defined for their company itself, and they did
Yeah.
not want their data to be leaked out or their data to be published anywhere else. So, yes, it's not meeting um, the exact ideology behind blockchain, and that's the reason, like, on a personal basis, I would maybe deny that in public, but just internally on this, I hate hyperledger because it's a private blockchain enterprise solution making company. So that's not exactly the real value behind blockchain.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is fine.
It is said that
Another
blockchain is
question
not
is from.
effective for real-time use cases. How
Yeah.
is blockchain going to evolve to overcome that?
Yeah.
Mujtaba, it's actually evolving. It's appropriate for real-time use cases. So Walmart use case was not fictional; it was a real use case, and it just needs in time. As I said, it's an 11-year-old baby. It needs time to grow its arms and legs to be able to stand on its feet and to able to conquer the world. So it needs
Yeah.
time. So we are moving in one step at a time, like a structure. एंड एक दिन आएगा यार जब ब्लॉकचेन के यूज केसेस आप लाइक बहुत अच्छे से यू वुड बी सराउंडेड बाय इट बट एज आई से
Yeah.
लाइक यूज केसेस हैं जो ऑलरेडी people have started implementing it. For example, the certificates platform that we have built, or the supply chain platform that Walmart has used, or the different use cases that I have probably talked about. Yeah, or be like there are many other use cases which are currently solving the real life problems. But yes,
Mm.
can they solve all the problems or all the major problems today? No, इतना scalable नहीं है blockchain. So it's limited. It has its limited powers, but with time we will evolve.
Yeah. That is obvious. Okay, so next question is from Aman Kashyap, student of NITK. How are you viewing involving blockchain in agricultural management?
Like I if you so basically agriculture is one of the primary areas that that can be impacted through blockchain. This is something that even our prime minister believes in because the example that he took in his words was for farmers.
Mm.
So
Yeah, yeah,
agriculture,
exactly.
like particularly the supply chain or the particular world of bicholias, which the Prime Minister also mentioned, which in English means middlemen. So the entire middleman concept would be removed, once there is blockchain being involved in the supply chain of agriculture. And like currently if you see, the bill also proposes the same to remove in concepts like mandi, etc., and then farmers would be able to move here and there and sell their things anyways across. But
Yeah,
there's no one to manage or there is no one to maintain or ensure the transparency in this. But blockchain can do it. And
yeah,
Aman Kashyap, you can just go to an example of Estonia, and maybe you can just read about how Estonia, it's a small country in Europe with maybe a million or two population, right? And just read about them about how they have used blockchain for their agriculture agriculture management, or maybe agriculture supply chain for their country.
Yes. Mm, yeah, that is
Yeah. Next question I
that.
see. Divas
Yeah, from Lewis.
is stand as a founder of two startups. That has got to be ton of work. How do you manage with both?
Audible.
So, uh, DAS Labs is something that I work not on an active basis. So I spend 80% of my time on Zubi and 20 maybe on DAS. So currently, like, focus much on making up products, and these days, like, I'm also involved in um, to understand much more about use of supply chain in the plastic world. So how
Mm,
the supply chain of commodities related to plastics, since recently with the with the particular imports banned from China, so the prices of petroleum products, the prices of PVC, etc., has been on a
mm,
rise by 40% in last 3 months, with Reliance being one of the monopoly in the market. So I'm just researching about how blockchain can be implemented with it, and can be um, like mm, can probably make in a solution through which we can reduce these price movements on a drastic level, wherein the prices have been risen by 40% in 6 months. So if you have bought in the product 6 months back, the cost would be, let's say, if it's 100 today, it would cost you 140.
yeah.
So yes, like, probably the only shortcome, or the only problem of it, is you lose in touch with your dear ones, and
Yeah.
that's the only battle of the startup ecosystem. So basically, you get evolved so much into what you're doing that you don't have time to be social. So that is something that I use in my time, and
Yeah.
probably
That's
I
really great. Yeah.
So Aman Kashyap asks, is there any
Form
firm
right now.
working on such tech in India? There are many Aman Kashyap. So it depends on what use case you want to work on. And for every use case, probably you will find in 2 to 3 companies working in India on the same. There are
Mm.
many tech firms working on it.
Okay, that's great. And we have a YouTube question. I'll paste it. Uh, Someone asked, "What advice would you like to give to the people who are new to the startup world? Where would you like to ask them to start from?"
Start from validating your idea. Talk to people. So first
Mm.
is, don't hesitate to share your idea with someone else. Mostly I see this as a common factor कि यार मेरे पास आइडिया है, मैं इस पे काम कर रहा हूँ, and when someone asks you कि क्या आइडिया है,
Huh.
so people will be like
Yeah.
नहीं यार कुछ है. So firstly, like, start talking to people about your idea. Be selective, maybe, whom you are sharing that with. And specifically, if people come in with some background, or if have some quality background, there are people always to help. They'll give you your
Yeah.
thoughts, but you just have to share in your ideas with just one condition, that no matter what their thought is, you don't get demotivated. For example, if you have an
Yeah.
idea and you sharing it with someone else, someone says, क्या यार ये तो कुछ नहीं है, ये हो जाएगा, ये possible है, या इसका कुछ future नहीं है. So that should not stop you there. So you should
Yeah.
talk probably to 100 other people. You should talk to your customers, your potential customers, right? And
Yeah.
understand with them. Ki, if I am building something on this, would you pay me 100 rupees? Would you pay me 1,000 rupees to use it? If yes,
Huh.
your idea already has validation.
Right. Yeah. So
So
I
that is
guess.
something that you can start up with. And so, yep.
Mm, yeah. Okay. So I guess that marks the end of questions from both Ermit and YouTube Live. Yeah, I guess we're done with the question and answer session. So I'd like Okay, yeah. We have a question from Aman Kashyap. Can blockchain be used to create a single platform for all the companies to trade shares across the global, irrespective of their own currency?
Yes, it can be. That's the concept behind blockchain exactly. So basically, irrespective of the different currencies like INR, Euro, USD, etc., you can just
Hmm.
send Bitcoin to your friend in America within, like, a fraction of seconds. Ideally, if someone has to send in money from an international level, or basically from Singapore or maybe from US to me, it usually takes 3 days for that money to get reflected in my bank. And there are some
Yeah,
cases which 3 days are extended to 7 days, 8 days, depending on your bank. And
yeah, true.
but from Bitcoin, you can actually do that within a fraction of second, and you don't have to pay much of charges to do that. So yes, this is the exact motive behind Bitcoin, and yes, this has been possible. There are a lot of exchanges which are working on the same.
Okay. Um, Aman Kashyap adds, without taking forex, that method involves forex. I guess, yeah, he wants to buy Amazon share, but not forex involved.
Share as in like which share? Share, is it an equity share? Is it a mutual like? Is it a share of any particular stock that you're talking about?
Aman, can you please clarify that?
I want to buy Amazon share, but I don't want Forex to be involved. Okay, that sounds good, Aman. Yes, you can do that. Currently, I don't think there are any platforms to do the same, or maybe I'm not aware of them. But yes, it should be possible. It should be very fairly possible. And
Mm,
just like, for example, if you have heard of this company called PayPal, so recently they have also added
yeah,
a way through which you can send in your money using Bitcoins. So every other company now and then would add this feature of just taking money from forex, and I'm not exactly sure about the stock market shares because these shares involve in rules and regulations which are controlled by either SEBI in India or SEC in US. So I'm not sure about the company share, but yes, like in the blockchain world, these shares are cryptos. So every company can issue their own share in cryptocurrencies, and you can buy the blockchain company shares, which is the cryptocurrencies, without having forex anywhere in involvement. So yes, this is possible, but for the regular companies, for their shares to be sold, I think there is a way to go because the government needs to be compatible with it.
yeah. Okay, so I guess that clarifies it. And uh, this marks the end of questions from both Airmeet and YouTube Live. I guess, yeah. So thank you so much, Punit, for your valuable time, and it was an honor for us to have you here. And
Thank
I
you
would
that
also,
you're inviting,
yeah,
and the audience was very interactive and probably one of the best that
yeah,
I've envisioned so far.
yeah.
So
I'd also like to thank the audience for their
yeah,
cooperation.
absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you,
Uh,
Divas and team, for inviting me. It was great being here, and thank you guys for joining me. Thank you.
yeah, the CSEA Association thanks a lot for your time and sharing your experience with us. So thank you so much.